Disease is simply a fact of life in the world we live in. The spectrum of disease severity ranges from the annoying common cold to the ominous smallpox virus. Thankfully, most of us won't have to experience deadly diseases because of the development and systematic distribution of vaccinations. Vaccinations are important to have in our society to protect us from harmful diseases as well as protect the community. Today, I'm going to talk about why vaccinating your children is good, describe how vaccines are not linked to autism, what herd immunity is and why it is important, and because of our lack of immunizations, preventable deadly diseases are coming back to strike again. If you're a parent, there is nothing more you want to do than protect your child. One of the best things you can do for your child is immunize them. This can save your child's life because immunizations protect them against more diseases than ever before. Diseases that once injured or killed thousands of children have been eliminated completely, and others are close to extinction because of safe and effective vaccines. I mentioned smallpox earlier, which is one disease that has been deemed eradicated by the World Health Organization in the 1980s after a decade-long vaccination campaign. Vaccines are safe and effective to use because they are only given to citizens after a long and careful review by scientists, doctors, and healthcare professionals. Vaccines may cause little pain, redness, or tenderness at the site of injection, but it's nothing compared to the pain, discomfort, and trauma of the diseases these vaccines prevent. Vaccine-preventable diseases such as measles, mumps, and whooping cough are still a threat today and can result in children who have been infected being hospitalized or dying every year. We all have a public health commitment to our community to protect each other and each other's children by vaccinating our family members. To protect those who cannot get vaccinated, like children who are too young to be vaccinated or people with weakened immune systems. In the past several years, there has begun a movement that suggests that there are significant health risks associated with the administration of vaccines. Most notably is the suggested link between vaccines and autism in children. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, there is no link between vaccines and autism. The ingredient that was believed to be the cause of autism is thimerosal, which is a mercury-based preservative used to prevent contaminated or multi-dose vials of vaccines, which are vials that contain enough vaccine to immunize several people. As a precaution, thimerosal was removed or reduced to trace amounts in all childhood vaccines except for some flu vaccines back between 1999 and 2001. Through this effort, scientists conducted studies and determined that thimerosal was in fact not harmful as previously speculated. Thimerosal is now only present in small amounts in some flu vaccines, and in addition, there are thimerosal-free alternatives that are available if you are someone that is still wary of having the small amount of mercury placed in your body. A new study published on March 4th, 2019 in the journal Annals of Internal Medicine is one of the largest studies of its kind. Researchers looked at records of more than 657,000 children born in Denmark between 1999 and 2010. Researchers looked at whether the vaccine increased risk in the following groups: boys, girls, children who developed regressive autism when they're older, and children whose siblings have autism. The result was that none of the subgroups that received the MMR, which is the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, showed any increased risk for autism. Ironically, the study suggested that the vaccine slightly lowered the risk of autism in girls and in children born from 1999 to 2001. Probably the most compelling argument to disprove any correlation between the MMR vaccine and autism comes from a fabricated study in 1998. The now retracted study looked at 12 children with developmental delays, and 8 of the children had autism. It has since become known that the lead researcher had several conflicts of interest. He had been paid by a law firm that wanted to sue the vaccine manufacturer, and in addition, he had a patent for a safer measles vaccine that he had developed before conducting the study. As many of us know, in the age of the internet and social media, the spreading of false and misinformation is widespread. When false facts are published that support inaction and ignorance, the result is a large portion of the population becoming fearful of a program that has nearly eradicated some very dangerous diseases. Incredibly, despite the author's admission and withdrawal of his bogus research, the correlation between MMR vaccination and autism remains a popular argument for anti-vaxxers to this day. The lesson here is that we all must be cautious of what we read on the internet and to make sure that sources that we receive information from are reliable, i.e. do not trust Facebook. When most of the people in a community are immunized, there is less opportunity for a disease to take hold within that community and make people sick. This is known as herd immunity. There are members of our society who cannot receive vaccines for medical reasons or because they are too young. They rely on herd immunity to keep disease out of their homes, schools, and neighborhoods. Like I mentioned earlier in this presentation, we have a commitment to protect each other by getting vaccinated to protect those who cannot get vaccinated. The choice to vaccinate does not begin and end with you. The decision impacts everyone around you as well. By choosing not to be vaccinated, you remain a potential spreader of a preventable deadly disease to someone who is unable to receive a vaccination. Herd immunity is only as strong as the commitment of all the individuals within the community. Now, if you are paying attention at all to current events in public health, you'll find a place where herd immunity is being challenged right now. Within the last decade, the highest spike we have experienced with measles outbreaks was throughout the year of 2014, where there were 667 cases. Now, as of April 4th, 2019, we have reached a staggering 465 cases this year. That means we are already over half of our highest spike back in 2014, and that is only data that has been collected within the first 3 months of 2019. This outbreak is hitting close to home as well. Within the state of Michigan, there has been 41 cases that have been reported as of April 8, 2019. Oakland County has reported 39 cases, while both Washtenaw and Wayne counties have each recorded 1 case. Infected individuals range from as young as 8 months to 63 years old. I bring up the topic of vaccination today because it is still a major issue within our society. It is important to keep our children and others' children safe by getting vaccinated. They are safe to use and have no links to autism. Herd immunity will help those who cannot get vaccinated stay healthy, and we need to act now to stop this measles outbreak that is happening just around the corner. I hope this presentation was informative, and I hope you walk away today knowing that vaccines are an important part of a community to keep each other safe. Thank you for listening.